Quantum Enlightenment. The Master Teacher. Shall I just for a moment again attempt to teach ideas about a course? An idea of mind training that would show me the difference in what I want to believe about myself? And that the new ideas about what I want to see can increase the fabric of light association in a continuing recognition of, say to me, a different place. The first thing I did in this idea about our association of time, I hope, was take away from you the idea that time itself will not finally resolve the conflict of the place that you're in. That's all I really did. What I want to do with you is offer you my certainty that in this matriculation, in the idea of structure, in the idea of study, in the idea of teaching, there's a necessary part in you that must express and determine another alternative to this that's always available to you. Now, the recognition that the procedures of the offering I'm giving you are coming from a single universal mind may not for that moment be obvious to you. Look with me, and that's why you need the mind training, isn't it? In other words, if I'm determined to offer you a parallel universe of my identity with myself, I'm going to have to admit somewhere, beginning very early in the teaching, that the world that I'm seeing out there is not who I really am. The surprise about this, shall I tell you from the new quantum idea of self-expression that we're maintaining is ourself? We've begun to meet each other in another place and time. I'd love to show you how rapidly you can bring about a conversion within your own mind in the exercising of questions and answers that you're getting about yourself within the frame of this Course in Miracles. Well, that looks like a pretty thick book. I'm wondering how I'm ever going to be able... Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. That's just a constant reminder to you that the manner of your self-discovery is not really concerned, except that you must assume responsibility for two things. Shall I teach for a moment? First of all, you're going to get the result of your own mind. It's not going to do you any good to appear here within a fabric that you identify as a specialization of teaching of quantum in regard to the universal source of reality that's out there. Do you see that? Because if I'm going to train your mind systematically that this is not real, come on. If I'm going to attempt to show you that the whole universe is out there, it's virtually impossible without mind training for you to recognize, shall we share what? That everything that you're seeing within your own identity of yourself is justifying the arrangement that you hold about yourself in the correspondence that you find within your own identity of yourself. The enjoyment, let's use what we call the mind training of A Course in Miracles. Shall I go to ideas of cycle in the first 50 days? Within the first 50 days will be everything that you need to know to lead you to a factor of increase in importance of what? First, I'm responsible for this. Now, that may not be totally recognizable to me at this time, but the idea that it can be recognized in the place that I'm in are the crucial elements of the first 50 lessons. What it says is, I am responsible for what I see, but I seem to be in a place where I can't recognize myself. Listen, you're not. Do you see that? Everything that you're seeing out in this world of universal mind is teaching you directly about your own consciousness identity as Homo sapiens, as an idea of body form in which all of your recognition of yourself in the idea of who you are only evidence of how you feel. But you've admitted this much. I'm responsible for what I see. I'm choosing ideas that I want, and everything that's happening to me in that first 50 lessons I've determined as the outcome that I want. Well, if you don't have a copy of A Course in Miracles yet, get one. Because I'm going to demonstrate it now to you in the idea of sequence of time. And I want you to see that I can practice it on a day-by-day basis. When I came into this fabric this morning, I said, what is going on here? This association of time is expressing a consciousness idea of self-concept, in which he is telling me I can change my mind about what I thought I was, and that I will be entirely different because I am entirely different each moment. Each moment I have decided not to hold on to myself in these first 50 lessons, or particularly these first 10 lessons. I have discovered a brand new me, so that I am now come out into the world. I may sit with you in the idea of the lessons that we're going to perform together, and at any moment in the verbalization of what I'm offering you, in the recognition of the teaching devices, we discover first, you're only teaching yourself. Second, you're only hearing what you want to hear. And third, what you want to hear is changing all the time. Good. The progress that you're making, important, doesn't have anything to do with your concepts at all. It may momentarily have to do with your emotional evaluation of yourself, because you're involved in the need to find out who you are and feel all the joy and love that's going to result in pain, loneliness, death in your self-identity. That's the only reason you need me. Look, the first 10 lessons in this miracle of conversion, of the recognition of the factoring of light, that have showed you directly that while your objection will be immediate to it, your objection has nothing to do with the entirety of what you are. Shall we look why? You have based the idea of who you are on an objecting to what I know that you are in my illumination. But once we begin to share the idea that there's another way to look at this, we begin to enjoy another way to look at it. And that's what we're going to do right now, right here. The workbook of A Course in Miracles, Lesson 1. Nothing I see means anything. Lesson 2. I've given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Lesson 3. I do not understand anything I see. Lesson 4. These thoughts do not mean anything. Lesson 5. I'm never upset for the reason I think. Lesson 6. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. Lesson 7. I see only the past. Lesson 8. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. Lesson 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. How's that going with you? Is this exciting? See, we've structured this within the ideas that from now on you may use this faculty of this Course in Miracles book. Listen, with no regard at all to what it says conceptually, with no regard to the body whatsoever. Finally, dear ones, I got to get you to look at the idea that whatever factor you're holding in your mind in regard to what you think you are concern me not in the slightest. I'm going to use science for a moment. I'm in the science of your mind, in the reasonable idea that you know perfectly well, both in time and in space, there's something else going on in the activity of the power of our mind. And we're going to find it will be in the lessons that appear to run from 11 to 15 in what seem to be the first 15 days, but at any moment can be reduced to any cycle of time in which you want to recognize yourself. My meaningless thoughts are showing me in a meaningless world. Lesson 12. I am upset because I see a meaningless world. Lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. Lesson 14. God did not create a meaningless world. Lesson 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. Thank you for that. that 15-day interlude in which, as you look in retrospect about the idea that in the first hour of this association we came together to show each other that in the hologram of the reflection of light in which we identify ourselves, we have been picturing. These are the first 15 lessons now, or the first 3 days, or the first 15 minutes, or the recognition that the cycle of time in which we're arrived at the idea that the reflection of light I'm getting is not actually who I am, are the manner in which I have recognized myself in the mind training. I am going to assume responsibility for an alternative that I want, even though I can't recognize it. Yet each time I appear to recognize it, I feel, at least for that moment, a joy that you perhaps, in your own factoring of a hologram of time, say to me, I have recognized myself. Thank you for these first 15 lessons. Dear ones, I love it. All you really had to decide was the practice of it. Listen with me. There is no requirement that you believe it. In fact, everything that you do within the perspective of your identity of space-time is a provision for you not to accept it. Can you see why? As long as you can maintain an idea of fear within your mind, the idea of loss and pain and loneliness, you can protect yourself. Shall we share why? If you lose the ideas of who you thought you were, say to me, I'll be someone else. Of course, all you really learned in the first 15 lessons from me is that who you thought you were, in the idea of captivity of this space-time reference in the reflection of light, is not who you are. I have come to you now in the mind training sequence of your mind to offer you another solution of the presence of you. Let's use me now in that reflection of light that the first 15 days have shown you what could have taken 20,000 years. What you discovered with me is that all of the memories that I have of myself in my entirety, including all the pain, all the unhappiness, all the loss, all of the sorrow, all of the things that I have valued within my own identity, within the power of my mind, to decide the outcome that I want, are simply a decision within the fabric of time. Say to me, I want to see differently. Thank you for that. I'm going to leave you now with the factory of the hologram in order to show you the quantum moment of your reappearance in time as we attempt to go beyond the first 15 days to the idea that they have become accumulative in your mind in the power of decision you have made in regard to yourself. God is with us wherever we go, isn't He? I'm excited at the prospect that you're going to look at lesson 16 with me. I'll be right back. You're carrying it around, aren't you? You're feeling the joy of participating. You're sharing with me the idea that all of us are blessed together. Everyone. We're sitting together in that solution, in that illumination of mind.